After a season chock full of love, laughter, and some tears, Joan Vassos found herself with two guys left going into the finale of the Golden Bachelorette. During the November 13 finale, Joan, 61, decided between Chalk Chapel and Guy Gansert after spending a night in the fantasy suite with each man. Joan had hoped to enjoy a camera-free night in the fantasy suites with Pascal Evier. However, he chose to end his journey before the overnight portion of their date, telling her that he didn't feel a spark after they participated in a Tahitian bonding ceremony together. "I know what love is. I've experienced it. You've experienced it," Pascal, 69, said to Joan in the October 30 episode. "And I'm caring about you as a friend. But I'm not in love, you know, and I just can't be there, and it's hurting me because we have a good time together." Joan said at the Men Tell All special that she saw a future with Pascal. "I picture a life with you, and I know that Tahitian bonding ceremony was very uncomfortable for you," she told the Salon owner. "And I thought maybe in fantasy suites we could have figured out something in either direction, but you had already made up your mind." The private school administrator teased happy tears ahead during her Golden Bachelorette finale, which saw her reunite with her kids in Bora Bora. Joan introduced her family to Chalk, but she broke up with Guy before he could meet them once she realized her feelings for Chalk. Joan didn't want to say "I love you" back to Chalk, though, until proposal day. So when she and Chalk reunited on the Bora Bora sand on the final day of her journey, Joan said "I love you." And then she said yes when Chalk asked her to marry him. Keep reading to find out what happened during the finale of the first Golden Bachelorette season. Joan and Chalk joined Jesse in the studio for their first time in public as an engaged couple. The former NFL star surprised Chalk and Joan with a trip to Disney World for their two families. On proposal day, Joan told Chalk that "from our first date in Disneyland, I thought I saw a future with you," referring to their first one-on-one. Now they will get to live that future together with their families. Chalk entered proposal day not knowing that Guy went home. He told Jesse upon arriving to the engagement that he loved Joan, but Chalk had some self-doubt since Joan hadn't said "I love you" back to him. But when Chalk showed up on the beach in Bora Bora on the last day of her journey, Joan returned the sentiment. "I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you," Joan said to Chalk. "I want to wake up next to you in the morning and I want to kiss you when I go to bed at night." Chalk reiterated that he loved Joan and told her that he had a question for her. "I've been waiting forever to do this," Chalk said before dropping to one knee and popping open a Neil Lane ring box. "Joan, will you marry me?" Joan replied, "Of course I'll marry you," before giving Chalk her final rose. Guy questions whether there was something missing with Joan. Guy joined Jesse, 46, live in the studio and said it was heartbreaking to watch back his breakup with Joan. Then Joan came out on stage and the two spoke for the first time since splitting in Bora Bora. Guy told Joan that everything he said on the show came from the heart. "Was there something missing that I just didn't really anticipate or I should have?" Guy asked her. "It comes down to being kind of a time thing," Joan explained. Joan said she had a really hard time letting Guy go in the end. "In any other situation, I would have been with you because we would have more time," she continued. "But there was a time element in this that I had to make a decision, and I had just gotten farther along." The reality star made sure to let Guy know it was absolutely nothing you did to lead to the breakup, and she told him she hoped they can double date one day. Joan's date with Chalk showed her what she really wanted. So before Guy could meet her family, she went to his hotel room to break things off. "We really had a connection, and hearing that he loves me and that he wants to spend the rest of his life with me, I realized that I actually found love," Joan told the cameras of Chalk. "It actually happened. I know where my heart is at and I know what I have to do." And then she proceeded to do just that. "I'm here to tell you that my heart belongs to somebody else," Joan said to Guy, 66. "And I care about you so much, and I know we talked about being seen, and I want you to know that I saw you at every rose ceremony, I saw you at every date. I care so much about you, my heart belongs to somebody else now." Joan added that because she cared about Guy, she wanted to spare him meeting her kids. Guy said that he planned to propose and asked Joan, "There's no changing your mind?" Joan replied, "I love you in a different way." Joan feels like a different person after hearing the L word. After what Chalk deemed a perfect day with Joan and her family, the couple embarked on their last date before engagement day. They popped champagne and Chalk told Joan he hoped he did a good job during her family visit. "You did a great job, actually," Joan assured. Chalk then gave Joan a gift, a heart keychain. "This gift is a symbol of my commitment to you, and I would for us to have a place in New York City," he said. "And I want us to do it together and to pick it out and make all the decisions together." "I literally can't believe this," Joan responded. Chalk continued to explain his hopes for his future with Joan. "I want to marry you, and I want to spend my life with you, and I want you to know that," he said. "I do love you." Joan told the cameras that that marked the first time someone said, "I love you" to her since her husband died. However, she didn't want to say "I love you" back to Chalk because she promised herself she wouldn't say that to anyone until the end of the process. "Still, I feel like a different person," Joan told the cameras. "I feel like I deserve love." Joan's family has extremely high expectations for Chalk. Joan worried that despite her kids' approval, meeting Chalk might be too much for them. "Actually seeing me with a person is far different," she said. Chalk told Joan's kids that his daughter filled out his Golden Bachelorette application because she thought Joan would be the perfect woman for him, and since meeting her, he agreed. When Chalk and Nick spoke privately, Joan's son didn't beat around the bush. "For whomever the guy would be that would replace my dad, I had extremely high expectations," Nick said to Chalk. "And yeah, I mean, it's like this is difficult. This I tough." Chalk assured Nick that didn't intend to replace Joan. "I'm not here to replace your dad in any way, shape, or form," the insurance executive, 60, told Nick. "I am not, and it's just, that's not my place. I'm just here to have a great life with your mom, love her and have adventures, and just enjoy it till the end." Nick told Joan that he liked Chalk and felt proud of her for going on this journey. "You tell us to be courageous, to take risks, to see you do those things and succeed in such a graceful, perfect way is so incredible," Nick said to his mom. "We couldn't be more proud to be your children." Joan gets some much-needed family time. With her new positive attitude, Joan met up with her kids Allie and Nick and their partners in Bora Bora. Joan filled them in on where her journey stood and informed them that they'd be meeting Chalk and Guy. She told her loved ones that she wondered if I was really honoring John by moving on, but eventually she found the freedom to actually fall in love again. "That struggle, it's refreshing to hear that," Nick said to Joan. "This shouldn't be easy." Joan wants to move forward, despite having no confidence. Joan and her remaining men travel to the islands of Tahiti for overnight dates. A friendly face stops by giving Joan a newfound confidence to dive deep into a week of adventure and tough conversations. Later, an overnight date takes a shocking turn. Joan debriefed with her Golden Bachelor bestie Nancy Holkauer, who joined her ahead of fantasy suites aboard Windstar Cruises' Star Breeze cruise ship. Nancy tried to tell Joan that she should focus on her remaining connections instead of harping on the breakup with Pascal. "Now you can concentrate on Chalk and Guy and get to know them even better," Nancy said to Joan. But Joan felt defeated. "I have no confidence anymore," she responded. Nancy didn't want Joan to stay in that negative headspace. "Don't give power to Pascal," she urged. Joan tried to reframe her thinking. "I need to have faith that this ends with an engagement," she told the cameras. "I need to continue to move forward." Joan admits to feeling hurt after Pascal's exit. The live Golden Bachelorette kicked off with Joan reeling from the aftermath of Pascal's departure. "When Pascal said that he didn't love me, it hurt," Joan admitted in an on-camera interview. Joan said that her walls are up again now that Pascal left. "It's hard to be vulnerable again once you've been hurt," she said. The mom of four also wondered if, after a 32-year marriage with her late husband John, she would find love again. "I was lucky once with John," Joan said. "Some people are never lucky once, so why do I get to have it twice?" Joan makes room for new love. Before she could hand out her final rose, Joan told PEPL that she had to come to terms with her unresolved feelings of grief after losing her late husband John. "I really struggled with that in the middle of the season," the inaugural Golden Bachelorette confessed. "The Bachelor gives you access to psychiatrists that are actually at the mansion with you on the show, and so I did that. I actually had an appointment with them, and we talked about what it would be, why it was so hard for me to move on in this journey, and I felt like I was still in love with John, and I never would not be in love with him. And they're like, well, that's fine." She continued, "They said, picture it like you have a balloon in each hand. One is John and one is this other person that you have feelings for, and you don't have to let go of this one to have this one also. There's room in your heart and in your memory for more than one person. And I just needed to hear that it was okay." Joan recalled, "I didn't have to not love John anymore, and I didn't know that."